7 times Irish boxing champion. Sparring partner of the great Mike Tyson. I'm here at this fabulous gym, the South End Fight Academy, and I just want to thank Simon and Alana for their wonderful hospitality. And while I was on the film set, I met an actor called Tamer Hassan, who was an ex-boxer and a great guy. And he said to me, "Joe, you've got a great presence on screen." He said, "My agent could do something with you. Do you fancy an acting career?" And I looked at him and I was sincere and I said, "Listen, Tamer, I've acted my way through a boxing career. I'll give it a go." Anyway, he introduced me to his agent. His agent took a shine to me. He said, "There's a film being done by Guy Ritchie, a Warner Brothers movie called Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law, Eddie Maas and Rachel McAdams." He said, "And they're looking for an actor to play McMurdo to do a fight scene with Robert Downey Jr." So I went along to the casting. The casting agent said, "Look into the camera lens, give an intimidating stare and say this line." So I did what they asked. They said, "Wow, you've got an amazing, intimidating stare." I said, "I've had to look into the eyes of Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis to try and intimidate them. To intimidate a couple of casting agents is no problem." Anyway, I got the part. They sent me along to the read-through in Claridge's. I brought my friend with me, Richard Grimes, and it was incredible. In Claridge's, big oval table, all the hierarchy of Warner Brothers. My nameplate, JOE EGAN, next to Robert Downey Jr., Jude Law, Eddie Maas and Rachel McAdams, who went on to win the Academy Award for Southpaw. Robert Downey Jr., an Academy Award winner for Chaplin. Sitting opposite Joel Silver, the CEO of Warner Brothers, and Guy Ritchie. And Guy said, "Joe, I've been trying to get you in one of my films for a long time." And I looked at Guy Ritchie and I said, "You're joking." And Robert Downey Jr. leaned in, he goes, "Joe, you come with a fearsome reputation." I couldn't believe these people even knew me, but they knew me through Mike Tyson. And I was so humbled, because this is Hollywood royalty. Anyway, we travelled down in a minibus to do the practice fight. And Guy said, "How are things, Joe?" I said, "Things are okay, Guy. I'm making ends meet." He said, "Has your agent told you how much you get for the fight scene?" I said, "Guy, I never even asked. I'm just so honoured to be in your film." When he told me how much I was getting for the fight scene, it was more than I got in any of my professional fights. And I was deadly serious. I said, "Guy, for this money," I said, "Robert Downey Jr. can really hit me. You can kick me as well if you want to." He took a fit of laughing. He said, "Joe, I don't want you being beaten up." I said, "Guy, I've been beaten up for a lot less. I'll do a few weeks in hospital for that money." I didn't have to do the fight scene then. He gave me a scene that wasn't in the script, in the prison. And Robert Downey Jr. calls me Joe. I get called my own name by an Academy Award winning actor in a Warner Brothers movie directed by Guy Ritchie. And it made my mum, who's no longer with us, God rest her. I lost my mum and dad last year. It was a bad year, horrible year. But it made my mum so proud, because My mum.
And take 5, Joe.
Sorry, Lee.
You want me?
My mum never wanted me to box. No mother wants to see her son be beaten up. She never wanted me to box. But when I broke into the films, through the Sherlock Holmes film, I got beaten up and killed in a lot of films. And my mum was so proud because she knows she knew it wasn't for real. My boxing made my dad proud. My dad's no longer with us. My boxing made my dad proud. And my acting got to make my mum proud. That's all you want to do in life, really. Make your parents proud. I hope I did that. But after I did the Sherlock Holmes film, Guy gave me a chance in part 2. I did the Sherlock Holmes 2. And then I've gone on to do over 60 movies now and some TV series. And the last film I've done was with Ray Winston and Russell Crowe. I did a movie called Prize Fighter. And in the film, Russell Crowe calls me Big Joe. So I get called my own name by 2 Academy Award winners in 2 different films. And you know something, Lee? It's made all the beatings that I've took in my life worthwhile, because, like I said, it made my mum proud. And the parts are getting bigger now with experience. I'm enjoying the acting. It's a whole new chapter to my life. And I've had a roller coaster of a life, Lee. My life has been ups and downs and testing times. But I tell people that when you're on a life support machine, and I've been on a life support machine, I was in a critical condition, I was in an intensive care unit in North Carolina. It was the first place in the world ever had an ICU unit. And there was 5 days in intensive care, 3 days in a coma. So I've had a few run-ins with the Grim Reaper, and this one in particular was a savage one. But on a life support machine, when your heart beats, it goes up, the monitor goes down, it goes up and it goes down. And that's life, peaks and troughs. When you flatline, you're dead. So things test us in life, and I've had a lot of tests. Some have failed, some have passed. But I'm still here, and the Grim Reapers come for me on a few occasions, but I've managed to fight them off, and I'm enjoying my life. The boxing was one chapter of my life, the acting's another chapter of my life. I get to do a lot of after dinner speaking, I get to share the top table with some great champions, and I'm enjoying life. I don't drink alcohol. People say, what sort of an Irish man are you that you don't drink alcohol? It's expected of the Irish to drink alcohol. I said, my dad used to say I'm a failure as an Irishman because I don't drink alcohol. But I don't need alcohol to enjoy my life. I've had some great times, I've had some hard times. But I think you've got to experience hard times to appreciate good times. And I'm living life. I'm enjoying life, getting to do this podcast here with you now today, Lee, and I travel down memory lane. And there's a few funny stories. I'll tell you a few funny stories about my boxing career. My dad used to call me for my runs. I never liked running. And that's why I didn't want to fight more than 3 rounds, because I could get away with running 3 miles for a 3-round fight. See, when you got to run 6 miles, 8 miles, 10 miles, I didn't like that. So when my dad used to call me for my runs, he said, drag yourself out of bed, son. It's like dragging yourself off the deck when you get decked. I said, Dad, no one's going to put me down. I can take the hardest punches in the world. I've took them off Mike Tyson, I've took them off Lennox. No one's going to put me down. Anyway, 1987 in the Acropolis Games, which is a World Championship tournament, I'd beat an Italian and I beat a Canadian. My left eye was badly damaged from them 2 fights. And I'm in the semi-finals. I'm drawn against a Greek who got a bye in his first fight. He'd only had 1 fight, so he was a lot fresher than me. If they'd had failed me on the medical, he would have had 2 buys into the final, where he fought Arnold van der Leyden, the Dutchman, who'd got 2 Olympic bronze medals. So the doctor, my 2 cornermen said, your eye is too badly damaged, Joe, to fight. I said, listen, I'm in the semi-finals. If I win, I'm into the final. I've got a silver at least. Please let me have the medical. If the doctor says I can't fight, then that's the professional opinion. But my heart tells me I can fight. My cornerman let me go into the medical. The doctor passed me fit to fight. Greek doctor, Greek opponent. He couldn't give him the bye. He would have had 2 into the final. So they let me fight. I only had 1 good round in me before my eye closed. So I gave it my best in the first round. I won it. Georgia Stephanopoulos in the first round. And I gave it my best. The second round, my eye was completely closed. And I couldn't see the punch coming. It wasn't the best punch I'd ever been hit. I'd been hit with better punches. But I didn't see the punch coming. And I'm on the deck. And as I'm lying flat on my back, I'm doing this with my arm. I'm looking for my bed sheets. I'm in bed. I'm asleep. I'm dozy. And I'm looking for my bed sheets. So from the time he hit me, to the time I fell, to the time I'm lying on my back looking at my bed sheets, it was at least 10 seconds of being unconscious. It was the strangest feeling in the world. I didn't feel the punch. I rolled over onto my side. My left eye was closed. I'm still looking for my bed sheets. I see the referee go 5. And I've looked at the referee through my right eye. And I thought, I'm on the deck in a fight. I didn't know where I was. I've struggled to get to my feet. My 2 cornermen, Jerry Hanna and Mickey Hawkins, I wasn't calling them into the ring. I was looking for my bed sheets. They thought I was calling them into the ring. By the time I got myself to my feet, I was staggering. They'd got into the ring. I actually fell into their arms. And I got stopped in the fight in the second round. But I got stopped on my feet. I didn't get to hit a final bell. Every fighter wants to hit a final bell, win, lose or draw. You want to hit a final bell. It's the fighter's pride. I didn't get to hit a final bell. The Greek went on to win the gold, so I lost to the eventual gold medalist. Georgia Stephanopoulos was his name. The Irish team were calling Georgia Step on top of us because he'd put me down. But that's the humour of the fighters. I remember phoning my dad after the fight. I said, Dad, I've won a bronze medal. He said, well done, son. I said, I got put down, Dad. Are you okay, son? I said, I'm fine, Dad. My left eye's closed, but I got to my feet. I got beat on my feet, Dad. I said, but it was exactly like you said. Dragging yourself off the deck was like dragging myself out of bed. My dad must have been decked at one stage of his life, maybe more than once. Every boy's eyes, his dad's the toughest man on the planet. In my eyes, my dad was the toughest man on the planet. But he must have been put down at one stage of his life, whether it was in the boxing ring because he boxed, or whether it was on the street. Because my dad was capable of the street, the same as he was capable in the boxing ring. He was a tough, proud man. And I said, it was exactly like you said, Dad. And we spoke, and he complimented me on winning a bronze medal, which was a major achievement. Like I said earlier in the interview, I wasn't much of a boxer. I was just tough. And I won through by being game and tough in a lot of my fights. Anyway, that's just one story. Another story, outside of the boxing ring. My agents, I've got a few agents, acting agents, after dinner speaking agents. My agents gave me a shout this particular day to do celebrity eggheads. And it was me, Willie Thorne, Peter Shilton, Jeff Capes and Paul Dixon. And we got to go up to Scotland to do celebrity eggheads. Now I left school when I was 14. I left school with 2 swimming certificates. I have no skills of academics or anything like that. Pythagoras' theorems and things like that. I don't read or write so good. And I thought, what am I doing on a quiz team against the mastermind champions, the brains of Britain? But it was a bit of fun. and it was for charity. So I thought, give it a go. If I get sport or TV and film, I've got some chance. Because I know about sport, I know about TV and film. I'm not saying I've got much of a chance, but I've got some chance. And that's all we ask for in life, is a fighting chance. So when I got there, I got food and drink. Now, as I said earlier, I don't drink alcohol, but by looking at the size of me, eat my food. People ask me what my favourite meal is, I always tell them it's seconds. So I'm in against the mastermind champion, the Brain of Britain. They asked me a question, hadn't got a clue. I picked the middle. Correct. I was so chuffed, so happy to think I got one question right. Mastermind champion, Brain of Britain gets his question right. Second question, haven't got a clue. I went the middle again. I got it right. I thought, oh God, 2 questions right out of 3. Mastermind champion, Brain of Britain gets his question right. I'm now into the 3rd question. They said, where is the avocado from? I said, the avocado's fruit. I said, it's full of energy, glucose. I said, my dad used to give them to me to eat when I was boxing. I said, I don't know where they're from. Give me the clues. So they said, Australasia, the Americas, or Europe. So I thought, it can't be the middle again. So I went Australasia, and it was the Americas. Got it wrong. Mastermind champion got his right. But they went, well done, Joe. You pushed the mastermind champion, the Brain of Britain, to the wire. I was so happy to think that I'd given a good account of myself. Anyway, went to the green room afterwards, phoned my dad, Paul Dixon, the cricket player, Jeff Capes, the strongman, Willie Thorne, the snooker player, and Peter Shilton, the England goalkeeper. I listened to this conversation. And I said, Dad, hello, son. I said, I've got 2 questions right out of 3, Dad. Well done, son. I said, the mastermind champion, the Brain of Britain, beat me 3-2. That's okay, son. But I said, the host said I pushed the mastermind champion, the Brain of Britain, to the wire. He said, son, it doesn't say much for the mastermind champion. He said, if you pushed him to the wire. And the celebrities started laughing. I said, okay, thanks, Dad. But it was a bit of fun. But I've had some fun in life, and I'm still here enjoying it. And even doing this podcast now, I've got to travel down memory lane a little bit there.
Joe, I just wanted to say, is there any sort of words of advice you'd sort of ask, or guide kids that wanted to follow the boxing path? What sort of words of advice could you give them and guidance?
Well, I'm biased being an ex-boxer. I think it's the greatest sport in the world. There's other forms of fighting now as well. There's the jiu-jitsu, the karate, the kickboxing, the Muay Thai. So any form of fighting is good because it will give you the confidence. Like I said, I needed the confidence to stand up and learn the skills to stand up against the bullies. Maybe these children in the same place I was getting bullied, because there's a lot of bullying going on out there. When I was getting bullied, it was physical bullying. You'd get home, close your front door, your home was your castle, you had a safe haven, but now they're bullying people over internets, mobile phones and computers. There's no real safe haven. Now physical bullying, beatings, you have a time scale when a broken arm or a broken jaw or a busted nose, it's going to heal. All my years boxing, only ever had 1 tooth knocked out. I got 2 teeth knocked out the day I made my Holy Communion by the bullies. So these young men and women that take up the fighting, whatever form of fighting it is, will give them confidence. For whatever reason they need the confidence. It might be for future, for interviews and jobs, because if you can walk to the ring or the cage to fight, it will give you the great confidence. But my advice to whatever form of fighting you take up, whether it be boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, any form of fighting, you train hard, discipline yourself, sacrifice the late nights, eat healthy, because you only have a short window in the fight game. It's not a big window. Other sports you have longevity in because they're not so physically demanding. But in any form of fighting, it takes its toll on your body. And you've only got a certain amount of years. So if you discipline and dedicate yourself, you might get them extra few years. But whether you're getting longevity in the sport, if you discipline and dedicate yourself and train hard, it makes the sport a little bit easier to compete in. Because fitness in any form of fighting is a big part of the battle. If you're not fit, you're not able to perform at the best of your ability. So you've got to be fit. So I just advise people, train hard, go to bed early at night, because sleep is as important as training. There's no point in training hard in the gym if you're neglecting your sleep, because you've got to recharge your batteries. Your body has to repair itself, and it repairs itself in sleep. So I encourage training and I encourage sleep. Also, eat as healthy as you possibly can. You know, there's a lot of junk foods out there that don't give you any sort of sustenance, any sort of substance. They might fill you for an hour or two, but your body's not getting any benefits from them. So try and eat as healthy as you possibly can. Fruit is always good. Drink plenty of water, which is the major part of anybody's training regime. Plenty of water. And most of all, enjoy what you do. Because if you don't enjoy what you do, what's the point in doing it? You know, you've got to enjoy what you do. You know, it's part and parcel of life enjoyment. When people ask me for my autograph, I'm always humbled, and I always sign happiness, because you can have all the money in the world and all the respect in the world, but if you're not happy, what good is it? So I believe happiness is what it's all about. And if you enjoy your sport, you enjoy your training, that's going to make you happy. And that's the most important thing in life, is to be happy.
Joe, can I just ask one more question, please, mate? You've made my job really easy today. It's flowed lovely.
Oh.
Brilliant. What does the future hold for you now? Obviously, you've had quite an eventful life, but what do you want for the future now going forward?
I'm enjoying doing the films. Like I said, last year, Lee, was a horrific year for me. I lost my dad on the 24th of April, and I lost my mum on the 28th of December. So last year was an horrific year for me. My acting agent at the time was putting a lot of pressure on me to go and do auditions. I wasn't in the right frame of mind to go and do anything, to tell you the truth. And I parted company with my acting agent, and it's only recently I've signed with a new acting agent. And I haven't done an audition for him yet. So I'm hoping he gets me a few auditions. I'm hoping to get a few movie parts, because I enjoy doing it. I've got my bodyguard work, I've got my security work, and that keeps the wolves at bay, pays the bills, and the acting is a bonus. I enjoy that. And I really would love for a part in one of the James Bond films, to be a baddie in a Bond film. I would love that. I really would. I've always loved James Bond, and I've always loved the baddies. Odd Job, Jaws. I just think that the baddies in the Bond films are what makes the films. The Bond himself is an unbelievable man. James Bond is the best ever. But the baddies is what makes the films interesting in the Bond films. And I'd love to be a henchman for one of the James Bond baddies. So Daniel Craig's no longer James Bond. Whoever the next James Bond is, I don't think they've announced the next James Bond.
No, not yet, no.
I don't know who the next James
few
Bond
rumours,
is going to be. There's all different rumours going around. There's Tom Hardy's name's been thrown into the hat.
Yeah.
I've never met Tom. I've spoken to Tom on the phone a few occasions. My pal Matt Legg, ex-boxer, he worked with Tom on the Warrior film, prepared him. My other friend, Jay Howlett, he actually sat next to Tom in school. They're best friends. Two H's, they grew up together, and both of them have introduced me to Tom over the phone. If Tom does get to become the next James Bond, whoever they pick as the baddie, I'd love to be one of his henchmen. Even if I get knocked out with the first punch in the film by James Bond, just to be in a Bond film would be the icing on the cake for me. It wouldn't get any better than that. And I'm enjoying doing the movies. Like I said, the parts are getting bigger with experience. I've done over 60 movies now. I've worked with 4 Academy Award winners. I've worked with some incredible talent. These people that I've been privileged to be on the sets with, and the directors that I've worked with off the set, that have given me guidance, because it's all down to their guidance that helps me. The same as when I was boxing, the trainers would give me guidance and help, encouragement. So the directors do the same, and constructive criticism, I take it on board, I listen to what they say, and I'm enjoying it. I've made some great friends over the years, from the Cass film, which was the first one. Nonso Anusi played Cass, Tama Hassan. We became great friends, and some of the directors that I've worked with, and I'm enjoying this chapter of my life. I really am enjoying it. And this new agent of mine, Robert Fusilla, who knows? He might get me into one of the Bond films in the future. So I'm hoping. Every day is a gift from God. I'm not a Bible thumper, but I believe every day is a gift from God. Tomorrow's not promised to anybody. That's why today is called the present. It's the gift from God. And I live each day to the best I can. You know, I enjoy every day as it comes. And I'm enjoying my life. You know, I've had a hard life. I've had a good life. I've been all over the world, fought all over the world. I've worked all over the world. I've got to meet people all over the world. I've still got the same friends I've had since I've been a little boy, and I've gathered as I've gone along the road. And every day is a new day. Every day is a new horizon. And who knows what the future holds?
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows? We don't have one of these, what are them, magic
crystal
balls. We don't know what the future holds. All we can do is hope. And I hope to one day be in a James Bond film, playing a baddie in a Bond film.
I wish you luck on that, mate. I hope your dream comes true.
Oh, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Anything else you want to ask?
No, Joe, it's been fantastic having you on, mate. Is there anywhere people can find you if they want to find you anywhere? Anywhere they can follow you? Or
just the Instagram and the Twitter. My agents do all that. I'm not computer literate or anything like that. I had 3 lessons on computers, and I knew after 3 lessons it wasn't for me. So my agents do all that. Instagram, I don't know what these codes are, but it's Big JOE EGAN, and at Big JOE EGAN. And if anybody, I don't do the emails, I'm not good with the emails, but if you do the Twitter and the Instagram and you want to get any messages, if I can help anybody with advice, please get in touch. Any amateur boxing gyms that I can go to or give encouragement, I'll be honoured to do that, privileged to do that, humble to do that, because the amateur boxers are what the sport needs, because they are the lifeline of the boxing. You start at the amateur and then you work your way into your amateur career and then you go pro. So I believe that the amateur boxing has to blossom for the professional boxing to benefit. And I encourage, whether you compete as a boxer, I would encourage you to go down to the boxing gym, because the camaraderie in the boxing gym and the friendship in the boxing gym is second to none. And just to go down, if you're competing in soccer, if you're competing in basketball, if you're competing in any other physical sports, the boxing, the training can help you toughen up for these other sports. So I'd encourage anybody to walk into the boxing gym and just punch a bag. Just punch a bag, shadow box, enjoy it. It is the most enjoyable sport in the world. Like I said, I'm biased being an ex-boxer. I've enjoyed this podcast today. I've got to travel down memory lane. I don't know whether there's anything else you want to ask me.
Joey, honestly, it's been absolutely a pleasure having you on. Like I say, you've made my job so easy. You've just flowed. I haven't had to keep digging questions out. It's been absolutely amazing.
Thank you very much. And to everybody watching, good luck, God bless, stay safe and healthy.